Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're here with Crestron to talk about AV over IP, how it affects our system designs, what the technology is, and how Crestron's DM NVX system can help you. So you go ahead and go to the next slide for me, Matt. All right. With me here today, I have Matt Johnson from Crestron and Cameron Bowling. Matt, can we go to slide 3, please?
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet dropped out just a brief second there, so I have
not a problem. All right. So today we're going to talk a little about what is AV over IP technology and how it works for you and how it can improve your system designs, the scalability and security of AV over IP, some of the technology that Crestron builds into their systems, like pixel perfect processing technology, how to manage these systems, and I'll give you a good tour of Crestron's NVX product line. All right, hope you're enjoying your pizza today. If you haven't received your pizza yet, please contact Julie here. We'll leave this up on the screen for a second so you can grab her email address. She'll go ahead and she'll do what she can to help you with that, but I hope you're enjoying. Next slide. All right, during the webinar, audio is going to be in presentation mode until the end. We may turn this on if you have a lot of questions today, so go ahead and in the chat tab, share your thoughts. In the question tab, let us know if there's any questions you'd like answered. As I said, if we see a lot of interaction there, I'll go ahead and turn the mic on. This meeting is for you guys to really learn and evaluate this technology. So we'll see how that goes from here. At the end of today's session, we'll be emailing out a copy of the presentation in PDF form and a recording of the webinar for your use and distribution through your organizations. You're also going to receive a survey evaluation at the end of the webinar. We will draw from one of the completed evaluations for a $50 Amazon gift card. All right, for those of you that don't know us and those of you that have been with us at System Source for some time, we'll go ahead and give you a little overview of who we are here. System Source has been in business in the Baltimore area for 43 years, and we're a regional systems integrator that deals in IT, AV, anything under the sun that involves technology. We offer the people, processes, and tools to help you guys improve, maintain, and acquire IT and AV systems. Some people do come to us and ask us to train in their specific applications or technical topics. This helps with staff retention, increases productivity, and also lowers help desk costs. We do hold virtual classes from your home or office, as well as public classes here in Hunt Valley, and can also host dedicated courses on your site. Our classrooms can also be rented for your needs if you have a specific need and you want to run something yourself in our office space. Regularly, as many of you know, because you're here, rely on us for presentation rooms, including conference rooms and classrooms. Very often these days, these rooms are built with video conferencing, digital signage, and signal distribution like we're talking about today. Improving IT infrastructure sometimes requires our expertise in our consulting department. We specialize in cloud migration, systems management, virtualization, project management, and infrastructure design. So if you guys have any needs within your organization, let us know. One improvement that a lot of clients ask us for is better use of the cloud these days by hosting applications in our data center or on Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. Once you improve your systems, come new maintenance workloads. We offer proactive support using managed services and reactive support using our support and service through our dispatch desk. And then when you maintain efficiently, monies do sometimes become available to acquire new equipment and refresh your systems. Since we've spent 43 years building strategic alliances with companies like Crestron here today, these relationships allow us to provide state-of-the-art systems, enhance your productivity through education, and consistent performance through technical support and service. We were started in 1981 as a Computerland franchise. In 1991, we changed our name to System Source, and have acquired a couple other IT companies within the Baltimore space over the years, most recently in 2004. We're privately held and locally owned, and we do match employee contributions to help improve the community. One other little fun tidbit here is we have one of the largest computer museums on the East Coast within our offices. Bob Roswell, one of our owners, maintains and curates that. So if you're interested or in the area and would like a tour, come see some really neat stuff, including genuine Apple One computer. Let my staff know when we reach out today, and we're happy to set that tour up for you. All right, next slide. A couple of upcoming webinars we have coming are on-presence storage refresh before moving to the cloud, step-by-step security defenses for the top 10 breach scenarios. You can find all of these on our website that's listed here, along with many more and anything else that we add to the schedule. So please feel free to take a look on our website, click and join any of these webinars that you seem useful to you. All right, and at this point, I'm going to turn the mic over to Matt here from Crestron and Cameron, and they're going to take you through AV over IP, Crestron MDX, and what this means to all of us.
Thanks, John. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining on the webinar. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm with Crestron. I am a regional sales manager, and my role is to support dealers such as System Source and John. On the call, I also have Cameron Bowling, who is our Mid-Atlantic Technical Director. Cameron has many years of dealing with distributed systems, professionally and firsthand with some of his prior experience. And so he'll bring great value into, people who weren't really familiar with the strengths of video over IP, and, where and when to deploy them, and kind of some of the benefits of going that path. So I just want to jump back to one of the previous slides where we talked about the agenda. Okay, so anyone who's been around AV for a while, I mean, obviously our goal and mission is to take a image or a sound or anything else from a source and get it to a destination. And historically, we did that over various other beams. Some were analog. Then we made kind of a digital transition, and then we started to kind of rob technologies from other industries. And eventually the AV industry got into the IP world, and that was for logical reasons. It really had to be based on scalability and expandability and security. Those three things were very hard for the AV community to do by other means. And so the IP universe really opened us up to that sort of stuff. With regards to scalability, we historically had fixed size chassis. And when you grew out of that size of a chassis to distribute your audio video needs, you either had to tie up another chassis and get creative with how you moved things. So you created a non-blocking architecture. With IP, we really didn't have to think about that. We were dealing with ones and zeros and packets and streams. And so the scalability became just like on your network, your IP network that you use now. Big difference is in the AV universe, we are sending a lot more downrange. We're burdening the systems even more. And this is why organizations like System Source, will chime in and help kind of navigate some of those network bottlenecks and burdens and things of that nature. Regarding pixel perfect processing technology, Crestron has been around for 50 plus years. I would say we're probably the de facto in AV control and AV transport. And a lot of what we do is distributed all throughout the globe. We're roughly a 4,500 person company. We're privately held, much like System Source, and we have 6 world headquarters scattered throughout the globe. Why is that important? It means it's important because the sun never sets on Crestron support. Okay, we always have a way to keep you up and running, no matter what time zone you're in. And that's really important in today's environment, especially in these mission critical places. And when you have a lot of WebEx calls and things taking place, those are important meetings that need to succeed. Okay. So within some of that, we need to talk about like managing those systems and what that looks like. We've got means to do that locally. on smaller base systems. And then we've got a way that when we keep on expanding and scaling it, we can do it on an enterprise and some ways global size of it. So with all of that on the agenda, I'm just going to jump into the slide deck now and just highlight some of the things of our flagship IP system, video over IP system, that we call NVX. NVX is really a family of products from Crestron, okay? And it's going to live really in three categories, because within the AV community, we deal with video, okay? So that's the V in our NVX, so it's network video. X could be used as transport, okay, in our product line. But anyway, we've got V for video, A for audio, and U is USB, okay? So any of these three flavors can commingle in the NVX fabric and ecosystem. And so from a deployment standpoint, that gives you great flexibility. There are other competitors out there that will pack on a lot of functionality into one box. And so you're buying extra things you may not need. Since Crestron has the ability to either focus on the video or focus on the audio or focus on the USB, we can start to right-size architectures, which is key. So then system designers can use whatever tool they need to, facilitate what transport you need. NVX is a perfect piece to go into a whole bunch of environments. Whether it's a command and control environment that we're seeing in the upper left-hand corner, or a digital signage environment in the right-hand side, or classroom style. It fits in a lot of environments, and it's really been adopted. It's not new technology by any means. NVX as a platform from Crestron has been around for well over 10 years and has certainly evolved and gotten stronger as we go. There we go, flexible, scalable, and secure. Flexible, we've definitely touched on that because, again, we're going to use IP technology. We're going to use network switches. Scalable, we've touched on that. It's got the ability to just keep adding network switches and create whatever system fabric you need. And secure, this is really a key feature and hallmark of NVX. One of Crestron's biggest consumers of NVX is the federal government. And anybody who's been around those types of environments and end users understands that there are security organizations that will test and give blessings to products and hardware, okay? So NVX, what's really key is we focus on those certifications very intensely. So whether it's an organization in a certification called JITC or Common Criteria or NIAP or any of those sorts of things, those are various security approvals that meet strict government guidelines, okay? To me, this is an important talking point because we focus on that first, and everybody else who buys NVX after that gets the benefit from it, okay? So what you gain is a peace of mind knowing that you have a hardware that's blessed certain, testing criteria and security testing criteria. And these features are things that you can turn on and off, later on if you don't want them and they don't fit your organization. So security is really key. So as I mentioned, we deal with video, we deal with audio, we deal with USB, and there's a fourth piece, control, that can all live on an NVX node. From a form factor standpoint, we can have a very dense form factor that has a lot of connectivity, or we can start to right size it and limit some of that connectivity, okay? So NVX allows the architect or the solutions architect to scale and right size solutions for you. Some of our solutions will operate at a full 4K 6444 for those people in the know that are technical. And then we have other variants that will come in at a slightly lower price point that will do 4K 6420 or 1080p. So you can really pick and choose the component to right size to your environment, which is key. And there's not a whole lot of manufacturers that take that extra step. Many other manufacturers will make one size box that fits all, and you're paying for a lot of extra functionality that you necessarily may not need. So one awesome thing about NVX is our interoperability, okay? So while Crestron is moving audio, video, and USB around the system, we have interoperability with other industry standards like AES 67, which is an audio routing standard. So there could be other components within your architecture that maybe you want to get the audio stream and you want to get it into the NVX fabric, and we certainly have the methodology and ways to do it. So what that means for you is not necessarily jettisoning old hardware to upgrade to an NVX style platform. So it's a very dynamic architecture, which is nice. A little bit of background about myself. Before I came over to Crestron, I spent 22 years on the integration side, just like System Source and John. And so I architected a lot of these systems. And so the flexibility and scalability was what, brought me into coming to Crestron, because I believed in the product. And it definitely helped me with my daily job of solving problems for end users and doing it efficiently and cost effectively. Headset has just decided to reboot itself, so I need to reboot just a moment.
All right, well, we're waiting for Matt here. If anyone has seen anything that they'd like to know or hear more about, please let us know. We'd love to touch on things that you guys want to hear. So, and going through a little bit of the scalability, network security. I know security is a big factor these days, especially when we're talking about putting AV equipment potentially on your internal networks. So we can talk more about that if you like.
I'm
before
back.
we really get it. Oh, there's Matt. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, it was quick reboot of the headset, thankfully. So yeah, interoperability. A lot of things in a lot of organizations are doing, Teams and Zoom meetings. What does that mean? USB peripherals. We have ways that we can move certain USB signals through NVX. You're seeing a camera here and some other sort of items. Okay, again, showing more interoperability, cameras, Zoom meetings over your LAN. So catching up to a slide I just talked about. So we talked about security is at our core. So our NIAP, TAA, common criteria, and JITC. These are all key things that really raise the bar for NVX. From a manufacturing standpoint, I can say that going through these testing procedures are, very time consuming and expensive for a manufacturer to do. I never realized it until I got on this side of the fence, being on the manufacturing side, but it is a costly expense for a manufacturer to do. So for us, that's really a commitment to NVX and where we want it placed in the market, and our dedication to these end users. So as I mentioned, NVX is a portfolio of nodes, and you can right size and pick what node to perform what task. One of our newest ones is this one right here, which was just released at ISC in Barcelona. So this is our NVX 384. And for those individuals that start to have command and control environments, this is going to be a game changer because it has windowing based in it. So it will receive multiple streams and get you multiple images on the display, up to 4 and sometimes 5 in the right environment. But key thing with this is this shows just some of the evolution and creativity that goes within NVX and how we're always trying to make it better. Okay. For some of the engineers on the call, it's showing just some of the connectivity that brings the 384 and really sets it apart. It's got onboard network switching on it, and video switching and audio routing and other sub features in a very dense package. So it packs a lot of punch in a small form factor, which is definitely different to our environment and to our AV community. But we're definitely excited for it. It's going to have a great place in a lot of command and control centers, or maybe boardrooms that need to have some windowing. I'm just going to jog through a lot of these slides because they can be very engineer heavy and dense. And if you've got any questions at the end, we can certainly come back and go back to those. But this is just an idea showing how an NVX 384 could work in an environment. Pretty network, simple network switch configuration, a laptop, and a wireless presentation unit getting fed into the 384 and then feeding an audio system and then feeding a display. So it can be as simple as that, or it can scale and start to grow. So now you've got a 21 by 9 sightline room with more input devices and more, destination sources. It's all part of the architecture and scaling things and getting your sources to whatever destinations they need to get to. Again, many environments that this can live in. Active learning and training rooms, for examples. This slide's really talking about some of the highlights of the NVX architecture that sets us above and beyond some of our competition. One key bullet point here is 5K. Most other boxes will do a 4K signal. Ours has enough bandwidth in it to do 5K. Why is that kind of important? Because nobody has a 5K TV or display like that. It's a little bit of future proofing in a way, because we're seeing certain displays that have 21 by 9 ratio, which is greater than 16 by 9 that we have had in the market for years. Certain 32 by 9 displays are out in the market now. And with those comes different display resolutions, different refresh resolutions. And so we've got a little extra bandwidth in there to accommodate those. Other key features within the NVX 384 family, and specifically around that 5K, is we now have the ability to send a 4K video signal downrange and a 1080p chase stream that can be independently peeled off and used for other windowing items. I don't think there's any other manufacturer that does that. And for us, it's part of right sizing the solution. Pick the right tool to, solve for your needs. There's other features baked within the box: HDR10, Dolby Vision, 7.1 audio down mixing, Dante. Dante's an audio standard. AS67 is a audio standard. And all these things can be push or pulled within the NVX ecosystem. Even by a competitive product can join the NVX ecosystem. Many of the things within the engineering of NVX, forward error correction is key, and making sure you have frames aligning and eliminating latency. So we're doing a lot of broadcast level things behind the curtain. Okay. This slide's just showing some of the differences in the various product families and levels. Okay, so we've got a 1080p level that I have mentioned, which is our 10 series. Okay, I mentioned our 420 series. That's going to be our 20 series. And we can get it in a wall plate. We can get it in, a box configuration to go behind the display. Card-based units, and then we get in our 30 series, which is going to be our 4K 60 Premiere offering. But again, System Source and their system designers will help you kind of like right size what's a good fit for your organization. More highlighting of the product family, just showing different form factors. We've also got card-based, so if density becomes an issue, if you've got an environment that has a lot of TV tuners or security cameras, etc., we can bring those into one consolidated area within our card frame chassis. We do make encoder only options, again, looking at ways to right size solutions and right size into the budgets. Some of those can be wall plates or box format. Interesting slide to stop here. We also offer it in software version. Okay, it's not something that is sold often, but If you were to have a training room or certain educational environments, this could potentially be a right fit. What it means is if you've got a room PC or a PC that's going to be hard mounted in a space, we wouldn't want to do this sort of deployment on a laptop. But instead of having the NVX hardware node attached to the system and dealing with video transport in that manner, we can do it via software and just get the native NVX stream off of that in-room PC experience. This is definitely going to be a conversation to be had with System Source because there's a certain who takes ownership of the laptop, and those are going to be things you're going to want to consider when you're going down this architecture. So while there could be some potential cost savings on it, there's also just concerns that you need to think about of how you want to do troubleshooting or day 2 support or things of that nature and who's equipped to do it best. But it is an offering that we do have and have had it for about a year. Jumping into some of the audio options of the NAX variant, again, we're going to have multiple form factors, but all of the same hallmark data points stay the same when we get into the subvariant. So security, flexibility, scalability, interoperability, all of those hallmarks continue from video to audio to USB and control. So one of the unique things within our audio ecosystem, again, this is going to live in the same ecosystem as the video pieces, but we come up with different form factors, and these form factors start to have audio DSP built into them. And so anybody who's been around AV deployments has always generally had an standalone audio DSP built into the system. We take kind of a decentralized approach with these items. And so we have the little DSP pieces built into these wall plates, for example. And as you start to assemble more of these wall plates, you then start to create for lack of terms, an audio DSP versus having it in hardware format. So that's a differentiator versus any of the competition. Just want to jump back up a couple slides. So distribution. One of the offerings we do have is audio over IP speakers. So again, the speakers have the ability to capture that NAX audio out of the ecosystem and bring those to IP speakers. This is important just because of expandability. Sometimes you have a network drop in a ceiling location where it's just more difficult to do the analog way. So we have different items to solve for different problems, different solutions. Various zone players, our ability to bring in streaming services, lobby background music, for example, any sort of chairman microphones. If you had a multi-purpose space, we would start to look at some of these items to enhance the NAX experience, NVX experience to your space. Simple bubble slides showing the expandability of the audio over IP experience with our IP speakers. Some more engineering level docs. This is a newer piece. We also have the ability to bring in Bluetooth audio. One example where I did this with another dealer was in a gym environment. They wanted an instructor to be able to bring their own audio into the system. Well, we did that over Bluetooth and we got it into the NAX system and had full audio distribution throughout the gym environment. So one of the ways that NAX changes up what's possible. Yep. Various items to bring in microphones. Another key feature that we've not really talked about is the NUX piece at this point. So this is the USB variant that we have. So start to think about moving keyboard and mouse in certain ways, moving certain USB data. We can do that over NVX, NUX items. And that's going to be important to some organizations running, USB webcams or USB microphones in their Zoom and Teams environments. A lot of these things can help make, they can clean up your conference room and clean up some of the cabling and make connectivity much easier for your end users. Other thing we can do within NVX is KVMing in certain environments. As you can see, this would possibly tie back to our 384 box that's really geared towards command and control, but if you've got a KVM application, this is one way to do it. Various schematics for the engineers on the call. One hallmark of NVX is expandability and scalability. It's one thing when you're dealing with a small room and just a certain number of nodes, that's a manageable piece. But when you start to upgrade and expand to a campus or an enterprise, that burden on your organization and specifically your AVIT team just can really bear and bog them down. And we recognized that. And the way that we recognized that was we needed to have a management tool to manage all of these NVX nodes. And so we do that with what's called our director. Director is really a key piece and differentiator in the environment simply because it gives global viewability of the NVX items. So we're not only going to be able to see a heartbeat and a health status, we're going to be able to see firmware levels. We're going to be able to push and push firmware updates. We're going to be able to see a global matrix of where we want video signals or audio signals or USB signals to be routed. But it's really become a hallmark differentiator in our video IP ecosystem. All of this is managed on Crestron's .AV framework control piece. So anyone who's been around Crestron for a while has seen that nomenclature. Again, more kind of engineering slides, but showing a director that has the ability to communicate to multiple domains over one pane of glass. So very big deal for support organizations. One of the newer additions to the NVX product line is our relationship with Netgear and their network switches. So these particular network switches have the NVX profile automatically loaded on them, not by automatically, but they're loaded on there. And what it does is speeds up the implementation, troubleshooting, everything else, because it's a vetted item that Crestron offers. So it can be troubleshot with us if needed, but generally it helps streamline the deployment of our NVX systems greatly. We've got a couple ancillary products that help kind of round out the NVX ecosystem, but still allow visibility and heartbeat viewable to the director. So if you just have the need to simply turn on or off a display and have presence, or do some switching to a digital signage, we have items that will get that done and can be viewed in the director as well. Showing some of the, one thing to note of Crestron, again, we've been around for 50 years. We have probably 15 different product families and roughly 1,900 individual SKUs. So not only do we make NVX, we do have other items to round out your AV environment. This is just showing some of our flip top boxes and solutions, our architectural solutions, as well as cabling. Important slide here. Our manufacturing is really tested up in Rockley, New Jersey. Uh, and so everything is vetted from the full assembly line process, making sure we know where every little resistor, transistor, circuit needs to go. And then we communicate that down to some of our other manufacturing facilities to then go in full production. But everything is fully tested up in Rockley before it even makes it to the other production facilities. Just a slide talking about, Crestron support. Again, I mentioned that we've got 6 global world headquarters and the sun never sets on Crestron TrueBlue. So whether you're an end user or a system source, you've got access to Crestron help and resources. One of the things of our 50 plus years of history is our relationships of third-party manufacturers and interoperability. So just showing and highlighting some of the manufacturers on the right-hand side of the slide here. Big one up there is Microsoft. In 2022, maybe 2023, we were Microsoft's integration partner of the year. Very key and very important relationship, just because we have excellent comms with them back and forth. And so when Microsoft is thinking about making a change or doing something else different that can impact teams, we're one of the first ones to know about it. So it's very rare that we're deploying an update or a product without being intimately involved in Microsoft and their roadmap. So big differentiator there. Wrapping up the slide deck here, but our heart and DNA came from the AV control side of the universe. So it's still a very big part of our business. That we can control NVX and we control other items as well in a full AV ecosystem. And getting close to wrapping up, but Crestron being the size of it is, our marketing team is probably one of the best that I've ever been around and seen, and we have just tons and tons of case studies and white papers and comparison docs and anything else like that. But that would definitely be a conversation starter with your system source rep to see what Crestron has available. And sometimes we've got that stuff, and sometimes we can have it made for you. But just reach out to your system source rep, and they'll get the conversation started. John, I think that's all of it, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Matt, for your time here and going through the deck. Couple things. If you'd like to stick around and chat with any of us, have any questions, I'm happy to open up the mics at the end here. So we'll go that and we'll wait a few seconds to see if anybody wants to see anything specific, talk about anything we talked about today, or any other Crestron products, product lines, control, etc. that you may have. This is a chance to speak directly with Crestron. We do ask that you kindly complete the survey at the end of this webinar. Your feedback is very important to us. We use it as a company to help improve these webinars and deliver more of this information to you guys in an effective way. As I said at the beginning, one person who out of the submitted surveys will be selected for a choice of an Amazon gift card for $50 or $50 to your favorite restaurant. So beyond that, Matt, I don't have any questions queued up here or chat. So what I'll do is, since we're a small group here today, I'm going to go ahead and allow these microphones to unmute. So if you'd like to mute yours independently, you're welcome to. We'll give you a chance to ask any questions you have. We'll see how this goes, and hopefully we can be considerate of everybody talking here. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute just to give you a fair warning, allow you guys to speak. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to, you can go ahead and unmute your microphones now if you have a question to ask, and we'll stick around here for a few minutes. If not, happy to give you a couple minutes back of your day today. Hope the pizza was delicious, and we hope to see you again at future events. All right, since we don't hear anybody piping up, I'll give you a last call. If you have any questions, chat, you can also enter them in text. We'll give it another minute or two here, and then we'll close down for the day. So thank you so much for your time. All right, well, with that, thank you very much again, Matt and Crestron. We hope to hear from you guys soon, and have a great rest of your day.
John, thanks for hosting. Thanks, System Source team.